What's up, band members? So today I'm going to give you 10 questions that I'm going to answer. It's a little bit about me, so you guys can get to know me better. So if you hear a little thunder in the background, don't worry, it's just because Houston weather is unpredictable. Not less than 30 minutes ago, it was sunny outside, but now it's not. So let's get into the questions. Alright, so my favorite TV show, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really watch TV, but I usually do Netflix. So anything that deals with Marvel, so The Flash on Netflix. I like The 100. I actually like Orange is the New Black. I got into it. There's another one that's called Wentworth. There's one that's called Between. So I do watch a lot of Netflix and a lot of DVDs. My favorite movie or DVD movie that I can watch over and over again, and it's just like watching it the first time, is Alief with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy. I seem to laugh at that every time as if it's new. If it comes on TV, I watch it, but I really like that movie. But as far as TV show, I don't have a favorite TV show. It used to be Cosby Show. I do have a DVD set, but since it's not on air, I'm not going to consider that as one, but it's not really one right now that I like watching. Alright, so if I can go anywhere in the world, I probably would go to Puerto Rico. Simply because that's where my bloodline comes from, and I definitely want to visit there, and beautiful people, wonderful culture. I want to experience that. So Puerto Rico is where I would want to go. So if a genie somehow granted me 3 wishes, my first wish would be that every day another $1 million is deposited in my account. My second wish would be that at any given moment I can give someone the power of good health. And my third wish, of course everybody would want to wish for more wishes, but my third wish, if that can't be possible, then my third wish would be, I would actually free the genie with my third wish. I don't think anybody should be forced to do something without their consent, so I probably would use that third wish and free the genie. Yep, that's my 3. Okay, I have a lot of great moments in life, but honestly, the best feeling, emotion, and time for me was winning the state championship with my high school basketball team. And I got a picture that I'll put somewhere here, and that's me down at the bottom. I think I'm looking into the camera. Yeah, so that's my best moment. Just knowing how much we've been through and how many people counted us out, and after losing, an early game, they thought we just weren't that good, and the team came along and won it all. Now, of course, I'm going to admit I did not play for the team, but I was one that took the stat. I had to keep track of timeouts. I had to keep track of who shot what, when, and things like that. So that was my job on the team. So I actually liked it. My goals in life, my number one, whether it's short term or long term, my number one goal is to make sure my kids start off with the best, my kids have the most memorable experience that they could ever have. A lot of my childhood, I had great memories of things we did, places we went, and I want to make sure my kids have double that amount as much as I can, whenever I'm able to. So that's one of my life goals. My next life goal, or another life goal, is to win a Grammy. I've talked about this multiple times, but I want to put out music and content that is approved by my peers and accepted and up to a point where it's recognized good enough to win a Grammy. So that's another goal. My third goal is to retire early, as early as I can. I don't know what that is, but before 65. I don't want to wait till 65 to retire. I want to be able to, if I ever want to stop, that money can continue to come in, that won't be an issue. So that's a few of my life goals. Currently, I have 2 tattoos. I went 2 different times and got ink done. So I'll tell you what they are and what they mean. The first tattoo is a baby's footprint with JR on it. So I got this one, I believe, in 2007. My wife had a miscarriage, and everyone thought the baby was a boy and called the baby Junior. So I got JR with a baby's footprint. And then a couple months after that, I went back and got, I don't know how well you can see this, but I got the city I was born in. So as you can see, it says 504 here. You got the Florida Leaf symbol here, and you got NO right here. So New Orleans, Louisiana. I do plan on getting more tattoos. I want to get my son's face on my chest. I want to get my daughter's face on my back. Eventually, when I don't have to report to a 9 to 5, I eventually want to get a whole sleeve, something like that. But there's a lot of other things I want to get, and I don't want to be 50-something years old trying to get those. So while I'm still young and movable, my skin isn't flabby or anything, I figured I might as well go ahead and get all the tattoos I want whenever I want. But I'm not really in a hurry for them. Whenever they come, they come, so. Okay, so I proposed to Kisha next to a river. In New Orleans, there's this river that she actually lived near, and the river had seats that went out into the water. So the seats kind of hovered over the water. You could walk down and sit on the seat. And I had been complaining about a knee problem I had. Now, my knee did hurt me, but I was making it way worse than what it really was, saying that I was really in pain, and I was doing that as the days were getting closer. I knew what day I was going to propose, and when that day came, we went and sat on the river. It was the middle of the day, around lunchtime, sat on the river. We were just sitting down the river talking and looking out in the water, and it was a nice scene and everything. Well, when it was time to go, I went to get up, and I started grabbing my knee and complaining about my knee. And she was all worried, thought something was really wrong with my knee. And coincidentally, I was down on one knee because I was complaining. And I pulled out the ring and proposed, and she said yes. And she was so shocked because she thought for sure that something was wrong and I was hurting. So that's how I proposed. So if I could have one superpower, I would want to teleport. There's another superpower that I was thinking of more recently that I might want, but I realized that could be completely dangerous. But the one I want is to teleport, like Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is probably my favorite superhero, but just to be able to flash from one spot to the next, and even sometimes flash from inside of a wall to outside of a wall at any given time, I just think that's just awesome. So I probably would want to teleport like him. After 12 years of marriage, the number one thing that I will say is compromise. A lot of people say you gotta have communication or you gotta be in love. All that, believe it or not, becomes secondary. If you're able to understand that you as a man and her as a woman, or vice versa, are both individuals before coming together, then you understand what compromise is all about. Because there's a lot of things that I like to do that Kisha doesn't like to do. There's a lot of things that Kisha likes to do that I don't like to do. So the key in order to make it work is to compromise. I don't necessarily like watching Golden Girls late at night. That's just not my thing. I want to watch SportsCenter, ESPN, and she gets upset about that because ESPN is repetitive. So every hour is pretty much showing you the same highlights, but I don't mind that. I like that. But at times you have to compromise. So if I know 1 hour segment is already gone and I'm dozing off anyways, I don't mind letting Golden Girls play an episode or two. Or if she gets to the TV first, then, I'm not really hungover on whether or not I don't get to see Sports Center that night. So it's about compromise. It's about understanding, working together for a common goal. You're not going to always get your way, and she's not going to always get hers. And that's the truth of the matter. And if you could work on compromising, then you'll notice things go a little smoother than they've ever gone. So compromise. I've thought about this pretty often. So my biggest fear in life is to be a failure as a dad. I think it stems back from my upbringing, and my dad not necessarily being around as much as I would like him to be. I think around the time I was in kindergarten or something like that is when I noticed he wasn't around anymore. But that may have affected me more than I put on. I don't think there was ever a time where I was worried about whether or not he was there or not. But there's a lot of things I'm sure I was supposed to learn from him, but I didn't learn. So my number one fear is to not be a good enough dad for my kids. So being a failure as a dad is something I try to avoid as much as possible. I understand if I'm a failure as a husband. I understand if I'm a failure as a musician. I can understand if I'm a failure as a worker. I try not to be a failure at anything, but if there's one thing I definitely know I cannot be the biggest failure at, is being a dad. I have to be a dad. They did, only because they didn't select me as their dad. They didn't have a choice. You know, my wife has a choice as a husband. My employer has a choice for me as an employee. If I'm hired as a musician, that person had a choice of whether or not they want me or not. My kids didn't have a choice. They picked me as a dad. So the most I can give back is to be the best dad I could be. You know, I didn't pick my dad, but, you know, that's my biggest fear, to not be the best dad possible. And I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm sure if you ask my kids how I'm doing and they could give you a straight answer, they'll tell you, you know, Dad, you're doing pretty good. So that's it for the questions. If you want to ask me a question, at me on Twitter or Instagram. Just put a question in one of the comments. I'll write it down, and then we'll add it to next time I do a part 2 of this question and answer. And who knows, we might have Keisha on part 2. So if you want to ask her a question or me a question, you know, let us know on Instagram or Twitter description. The links for my Instagram and Twitter are in the description below, so definitely check that out. And I will see you band members later. You heard me?
But I guess I can't help this. When I begin to sing about it, when I begin to tell people about him, I can't help this. I can't help but give him glory and honor, because he's been so